Hello, welcome to Malt, the non-chill filtered whisky blog. I'm Andy and this is Whisky Review number 54. What I have for you today is a single malt Scotch whisky from Speyside, and that comes from the Glenfarclas distillery. And that comes in the form of this, the Glenfarclas 10-year-old, their entry-level bottling. There's the tube, so you can see that as well. Now, Glenfarclas. This is a distillery of what you might describe as mid-size. It's got a capacity of around 3.4 million litres a year. It is very well known for its sherry matured or sherry finished whiskies. It's probably one of the most well respected distilleries, I'd say, in Speyside, particularly in the whisky community, I'd say, because they do a lot of things right, they do things relatively traditionally. And more importantly, it is actually owned by a family company. It's not owned by Diageo, it's not owned by Pernod Ricard, it's not owned by one of the big boys. It is a family company, and that company is called J&G Grant. And J&G Grant have owned Glenfarclas for 6 generations. 6 generations of whisky makers and managers and distillers. That's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Really nice to see in sort of a modern age where, you know, corporate and conglomerate is king. And I'm not just talking in whisky, I'm talking about like Apple and Microsoft and the big banks and people like that. To see a company, a family owned company, producing well-made products, affordable products, well-presented products and honest products in 2017, I think is brilliant. Brilliant. So, on that note, the 10-year-old, as I mentioned before, is their entry-level bottling. There's also a 12-year-old, the very famous and fabulous 15-year-old. I think there's a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old in some circles, a 21, a 25, a 30, a 40, family casks. There's a £511 an hour, however many shillings, because that's how much you bought the distillery for. There's a lot of releases. They've got quite a lot of whiskies out there. But the 10-year-old, he's bought the 40%. Oh no, not you again. Sorry about that. Hopefully I've just moved you back. It's twice now. Twice in 2 days. So sorry, what was I saying? 40%. I believe it is chill filtered. However, importantly, on the back of the label it states natural colour. And that is a lovely colour, as you can see. So natural presentation in terms of the colour, and that is derived from the sherry cask influence that goes into this whisky. It's not quite as heavily sherried as the 15-year-old, that is an absolute sherry monster. The 10 is a bit lighter, but still has plenty of that influence, as you can probably see. So what I'm going to do, let's have a look around the glass there, some nice legs on that. Colour, nice sort of coppery colour. He's off again. He's going to get a treat. Normally, you know me, I'm normally giving a stupid name, but I think in sort of taking my hat off to Glenfarclas and the current owner George, I will forego that. So let's leave that as it is, just a nice sort of coppery colour in there. So onto the nose. Sherry. Sherry straight away. There's also really sort of thick cut marmalade note in there. There's sugary barley. There's a little bit of honey. And also a little tiny fleck of smoke. Just a tiny little bit. It's not like a Highland, it's not like an Islay or anything like that in terms of its peat content by any means. In fact, I suspect the majority of the malt used in the makeup is unpeated, but there's just through the distillate there is this little bit of smoke. Really intense ginger, again with the honey. There's a tiny little bit of chocolate in there as well. As it's still sort of coming out of my nostrils now after breathing it in, it is getting that a little bit stronger but softer at the same time. So the chocolate note is still there, but it's just sort of tailing off. There's also loose leaf tobacco, so Golden Virginia or drum. And a little bit of creaminess to it as well. And dare I say it, Nutella on toast. Yes, Nutella on toast. Get in. You won't find that on another whisky review, would you? Hey, talk of Nutella. You might actually, I don't know. Each their own. So the 10-year-old, as I say, you can pick it up from, I think it's more of the sort of specialist spirit retailers or wine merchants. I believe they did stock it in Marks and Spencer's for a little while, but they no longer do. So the retail price is around £30 to £35. I picked this up for, I think it was 27 on offer, not too long ago, and it has been open for a few weeks, and to be honest with you, it has changed in that time. It's really mellowed out. Initially, the first time I opened it, for the first couple of days, I actually found it quite prickly. I found it a little bit too closed, I found it quite dusty, I found it boring, but it's really come into its own now. It's been open for about 5 weeks. And the air's got in the bottle. I've left, as you can see, I've not had a lot, but just that amount of air has really done it the world of good. It's really coming into its own. Chocolate cake. Really nice nose. Just genuinely, it's just really nice. Even though some of those flavours that I described in there, what you might call quite rich and heavy, due to its ABV and due to the fact that it's such a well-made dram, I think, genuinely, it's not overpowering, it's not too heavy in itself. It's not making you think like, blimey, this is going to be intense or too much, it's too rich for me. It's actually quite light, and it's, even though, as I say, some of those flavours are quite intense, it's themselves, you know, they're quite stodgy flavours, they work really well. It doesn't put you off. Not one that I use very often, because I don't really like the whole whisky review cliche stuff. But stewed fruits, I'm going to say it's stewed fruits. Right, onto the palate now. Good mouthfeel. Oh, lovely toffee straight away. Tons of toffee, again with that marmalade. And do you know what? Drinking chocolate, hot chocolate with marshmallows on top of it all the way. That is lovely. And again, it's not too heavy, it's not overpowering. It's actually quite a light palate. It's just dancing around my mouth now. You've got plums. You've also got maybe even a little bit of apple in there, more citrus. I have mentioned the marmalade, yeah, but now I'm talking something maybe like a lemon, lemon meringue potentially, lemon curd. Something I noticed just as I went back to the nose then, blackberry jam. So pull my sleeve up. Marshmallows on that hot chocolate, yes, I have already mentioned that. A little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, some star anise. Coffee. Not a very intense Arabica espresso, it's not that at all. It's more of a flat white. Really nice sort of soft, fluffy, flat white. Again, back to the nose again, just before I go back on the palate. Boiled sweets, fruit sweets. There's a slight earthy note in there. I wouldn't say that the smoke carries on from the nose at all. The polar opposite actually. But there's a really nice rich maltiness to it now going in towards the finish. Like a biscuit base off a cheesecake. Even more intense than that actually, it's a lot stronger than that. Think of that biscuit base of digestives mixed in with ginger nut biscuits for that ginger note that I mentioned before, or maybe crystallised ginger. The finish itself, it is drying, it is quite drying. You can certainly tell that there is sherry influence on this palate. Think of quite a dry sherry like a Manzanilla or even a Oloroso. Quite nutty. I know where we're going now. I know where we're going. You know what I mentioned about nuts? I'm getting walnuts now. Of quite an oily, strongly flavoured nut. With that, I'm still getting that chocolate. With that chocolate, I'm still getting a bit of marshmallow. Put those together and what do you get? You get a walnut whip. Yes, you get a walnut whip. If you don't get those outside the UK, Google it. It's basically like a little chocolate cone with a walnut on the top of it, and it's sort of a bit like, you know, like marshmallow fluff out of jar. It is that inside it. They're amazing. They are good. They are good. Back onto the finish. A little bit of vanilla coming out in there now. It's still going. You know, I mean, there's a little bit of sort of a playful burn, you might describe it, in the throat. It's not unpleasant by any means. It is not unpleasant. And I think genuinely that it's just a very honest, well put together little 10-year-old. And for the money, it's a bargain. It really is a bargain. Shame about the ABV, but if you'd give me this in a blind taste test, I would actually put that more between the sort of 12 to 15-year-old category. Maybe sort of midway between that. Which I think speaks volumes about the spirit, really. I mean, as I said, they are doing things quite traditionally over there in a lot of ways. For example, they direct fire the stills, so you know, that's always good. Good to see. Right, on that note, Glenfarclas 10. I'm going to give this a score of 85 out of 100. I think it's a very well put together whisky. I think it's very well priced. I think the presentation is great. I think they're doing a lot of things right. It's natural colour. Well deserved. Thanks for watching. See you soon.